Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we are diving into probably the biggest shakeup to Microsoft certifications that we've seen in years. Seriously, if you've got a Microsoft cert, or you're even thinking about getting one, you're going to want to stick around. Because the path you thought you were on, well, it might be about to change big time.
So let's just rip the Band-Aid off and get right to it. This is the question that's on everybody's mind in the IT world. Microsoft has announced a huge overhaul, and yeah, it's going to affect careers all across Azure, AI, security, you name it. And we're not just talking about 1 or 2 certs getting a little refresh. No, we are talking about the retirement of 9. That's right, 9 major certification exams and the tracks that go with them. This isn't just a cleanup, it's a total fundamental shift in what Microsoft sees as the most essential skills.
So, to help you make sense of all of this, here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll get into the why behind this whole thing. Then, we'll look at the old certs versus the new ones. After that, we'll figure out your next move with a personal action plan. And finally, we'll talk about the huge opportunity that's actually hiding in all this chaos.
Okay, so what is really driving this? I mean, it's easy to look at this and just think, oh, they're just getting rid of old stuff. But that's not it at all. What we're actually seeing is something way bigger. It's a massive strategic pivot to AI from one of the biggest tech companies on the planet.
You know, this one sentence right here, it tells you absolutely everything you need to know. This is Microsoft's entire game plan in a nutshell. They are rebuilding their whole certification world to be centered on AI. And we're not just talking about basic AI either. They're specifically calling out generative AI and this idea of agentic architectures, which, just think of it this way. AI is no longer just a tool you use, it's becoming an autonomous coworker that can handle complex jobs all by itself.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly, the before and the after. Just a couple years ago, the whole game was about knowing how to set up a service or use some standalone tool. But the future? It's all about having AI embedded in every single role. We're going from just securing a network to having to secure the entire AI development pipeline itself. It's a whole new world.
All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Let's see exactly which certifications are on the chopping block and, way more importantly, what's coming to take their place. So, no surprise here, the biggest changes are hitting the AI track itself. The super popular AI 900 Fundamentals and the pro-level AI 102 for engineers, they're both being retired. And they're being replaced by new exams that are laser-focused on today's tech, generative AI, building smart apps, and AI agents. And this isn't just about the AI-specific tracks. 2 of the most common, most popular certifications out there, the AZ500 for security engineers and the AZ204 for developers, are also getting a complete overhaul. And this sends a really clear message. These core roles are being redefined. It's not enough anymore to just be a security engineer. You have to be an AI security engineer. You can't just be a developer. You're now expected to be an AI developer.
Okay, deadlines. This is important. So the MS900 is already gone. The next big date you need to circle on your calendar, like right now, is June 30th, 2026. That's when a huge batch of 4 key certs gets retired. Then after that, you've got the security and hybrid admin tracks following, with their final day on September 30th. And when you look at this table, you see the real pattern. These certs aren't just vanishing into thin air, they're evolving. The Azure developer AZ204 becomes the AI developer AI200. The Azure Security Engineer AZ500 turns into the Cloud and AI Security Engineer SC500. It's a very clear, very direct evolution toward these new AI-integrated roles.
Okay, let's stop talking about the big picture for a second and talk about you. What does all this mean for you personally, right now? What should you do based on where you are in your own certification journey?
First things first, let's just address the biggest worry right out of the gate. If you already have one of these certifications, all your hard work is safe. It's not going to waste, it doesn't just disappear, it stays right there on your transcript as an active certification until it naturally expires. The only catch is, once that retirement date passes, you just can't renew it. So this whole decision really boils down to a pretty simple 3-step plan. Step 1, be honest with yourself and assess your progress. Step 2, check the calendar and see how much runway you've actually got. And then step 3, based on those 2 things, you make a choice. Either hustle to finish the old exam or pivot your focus to the new one.
So let's say you're just starting out. For those exams retiring on June 30th, you're on a really tight deadline.
The smart money is probably on just starting fresh with the new replacement exam. That way, every single hour you spend studying is going toward a credential that's built for the long haul. But what if you're already deep in the trenches? Maybe you feel like you're 70% of the way there, or even more. The advice is totally different. Finish what you started. A certified credential on your resume, even one that's about to retire, is infinitely more valuable than an unfinished study guide. Get that win, get it on your profile, and then you can worry about the new one later.
And finally, if you already hold one of these certifications and it's not expiring anytime soon, you can just relax. Seriously, no immediate action needed. Your credential is valid. All you have to do is just make a little note for yourself to plan your next move before it expires, since you won't be able to just hit renew.
All right, let's bring this all home and look at why this is actually really good news. Because buried under all this change and all these deadlines, there is a massive career opportunity just waiting for anyone who's paying attention.
So here's the big takeaway. The way to look at this is not as a disruption. It's a signal. It's a giant flare being shot into the sky, telling you exactly where the industry is heading. And this is your chance to get your skills lined up and get way ahead of the curve while everyone else is still trying to figure out what just happened.
It really just comes down to classic supply and demand. Right now, the demand from employers for these new integrated AI skills, it's going through the roof. But the supply of people who are actually certified in them, it's still incredibly low. And that huge gap between what companies need and what people have, that is your opportunity if you act on it quickly.
Ultimately, this entire shakeup from Microsoft, all the retiring certs, all the new ones, it really just boils down to one simple, powerful question that we all need to ask ourselves. It's not really about what certification you have on your profile today. It's about what skills you're building for tomorrow. So, are your skills ready for the AI-powered future?